show. It's the BP Batting Practice Show with Joe and Thomas.
Well, happy Championship Sunday. It is Game 1 of the South Atlantic League Championship Series between the Greenville Drive and the Hudson Valley Renegades. This is the BP Show. He's Joe Vasile. I'm Thomas Cinzarello. We can now officially say, at least, this is the last home version of the BP Show this year. Again, we had to play Game 3 of the North Division Championship Series. Weren't sure if win or go home, and we said at the end of the show, we hope to be back here on Sunday, and here we are.
Some things just work out, and this was one of them.
Yeah, no, it really was. It was an exciting contest back on Friday night as well. Renegades took that ball game 3-2 against the Jersey Shore Blue Claws, and really it had some thrilling effects. It really was postseason baseball.
Yeah, I mean, it was an electric atmosphere at the ballpark on Friday night. Brock Selvage got the start, was terrific in, a game where the Renegades needed to step up. They lost Game 1. They came back and won in a close one in Game 2 here at Heritage Financial Park. It was a 6-2 final, but it was a game that played a lot closer than that. To then pull out a one-run win on Friday to send the Renegades on to this championship series, just a great atmosphere. And I mean, days like today are why you play 132 games during the regular season. It's to set yourself up for the postseason, to separate the wheat from the chaff, so to speak. I don't know what chaff is and why it's mixed in with wheat, but you separate it all out. And you come down to the two teams that won the first half in their respective divisions, the Greenville Drive out of the south, the Hudson Valley Renegades out of the north. These two teams played each other down in Greenville in April. Both rosters very different than where they were at the time. It was Marcelo Meyer and Blaze Jordan leading the Greenville lineup back then. It was guys like Spencer Jones and Aaron Polensky and Ben Rice with the Renegades at that point. All those guys are long gone up to Double-A, and so it'll be really interesting to see how this goes. It was a huge offensive series. Both teams hit exceedingly well during that week, and it was a kind of a high-charged offensive environment. Both teams' pitching staffs look really good going into this series, so I'm interested to see, is this going to take a little bit of a different tone than the first time these teams matched up, where it was just a bunch of slugfests? Is this going to be more of a series that's dominated by pitching?
Yeah, we'll talk about the pitching and the starters here today. First, let's take a look at those highlights from Friday night. Again, 3-2 Renegades victory over Jersey Shore, which you mentioned Brock Selvage on the hill. He got the start, but it was Jersey Shore who got that first run, base hit to left field from Felix Reyes. 1-0 Jersey Shore. Reyes had one heck of a ball game, but Ben Cowles answered right away. Leading off the bottom of the first inning, ropes this triple out on deep right center field and set himself up for a run-scoring opportunity.
Yeah, when the Renegades were able to answer back with this Cowles triple and then coming in to score later in the inning on this wild pitch by Rafael Marcano, that's when you knew, all right, Jersey Shore might have gotten the early lead. Renegades had some fight in them. They score immediately in the bottom of the first inning. And then how about this defensive play by Alexander Vargas? Just terrific sliding play in the hole. Helped to set the tone right after that run-scoring inning as they kept Jersey Shore from scoring. And then Renegades start to take the lead thanks to a Rafael Flores double. And then there's Cowles again with a runner on third base, bringing him in, giving the Renegades a 2-1 lead. A lead that they would never relinquish.
Yeah, it really was. Jersey Shore would nibble later, but Rafael Flores, how about him? 2 doubles, scored both times. There's a nasty changeup from Brock Selvage. Another breaking ball in the dirt. A slider that time. Justin Crawford fishes after it in the dirt. And Selvage, how about one more? Yeah. Gets him looking and end up going 6 2/3 innings. Is this just a little pop-up down the right field line and trouble down there? And this would be Flores' second double as he slides in feet first, and that was another big turning point in the ball game for the Renegades because, again, you would come in to score on this Alexander Vargas sac fly, but really almost a double. How about that effort in left field? Takes away extra bases and honestly help keep Jersey Shore in the ball game.
Mm-hmm. It certainly did, and Selvage right back at it. 6 2/3 innings, struck out 7, pitching on short rest. His third straight start against Jersey Shore. And Selvage being a lefty and Jersey having so many left-handers in their lineup makes it a great matchup for him. He turned in 3 really solid starts in a row against the Blue Claws. Little bit of a threat in the 6th inning. Anthony Hall in right field helping Felix Reyes with a triple. really close play at third base as Reyes was able to get in. He ended up finishing a home run shy of this cycle. He came home on this Leandro Pineda RBI single that was dunked into right field. That got Jersey Shore within 1 run, but then the bullpen, when it eventually came in back of Selvage, was just really, really solid as he was able to get out of the inning. A strikeout of Anthony Kirion. He would have some issues. Into the 8th inning, this is the biggest moment of the game. Jersey Shore ends up loading the bases with 1 out against Cole Ayers. A walk, a single, and then another walk end up loading things up with only 1 out. Ayers would come out of the game. Jeff Gilbert came in, gets Leandro Pineda swinging for the 2nd out of the inning. Again, tying run on third base, go-ahead run at 2nd in the top of the 8th. Then Anthony Kirion down swinging on the changeup. 2 biggest outs of the season gotten by Jeff Gilbert. Pitching in his first game with the Renegades, just absolutely nails.
He was excellent, and he came in for the 9th inning to get those final 3 outs. But how about that in your high A debut to come in such a pressure cook situation, and you get those 2 big outs, and again ends up picking the save here as well. We saw the fly out, then the ground out, and then it was down to Eric Brito. Renegades fans clapping together, and Ben Cowles, this play behind the third base bag. Picked cleanly at by Henson at first base, and the Renegades were moving on to the championship series. Final score again, 3-2.
So that's how we got ourselves here, and it sets up a really fun matchup between the Renegades and Greenville Drive in this South Atlantic League Championship Series. First time since 2019 that the South Atlantic League is going to have a new champion. It's been the Bowling Green Hot Rods each of the last 2 years. They didn't make the playoffs this year. You see the bracket in the South Atlantic League playoffs. Greenville here after a sweep of the Hickory Crawdads, a Hickory team that won 40 games in the second half. They were no pushovers, and Greenville handled them in 2 games. And so this is a team that's playing really well right now coming into this series, and we'll see if maybe having 2 days off in a row plus the drive up from Greenville affects them here in this game 1, or if the extra rest is something that's going to be helpful. It's one of those that can go either way.
Yeah, no, it really should be exciting, and because, too, we get another debut in the high level for a right-handed pitcher in Jackson Fristow, who was just promoted from Single-A Tampa, made 3 starts down there, was with all those little roster moves we had last week at the beginning of the playoffs, and so he gets the ball here against Luis Perales, one of the top prospects in the Red Sox system. He's the number 2 pitching prospect, the number 10 prospect in their system, according to Unlimited Pipeline. But we saw Jeff Gilbert, former Clemson Tigers, so he's pitching some big games, and obviously down in Tampa as well. You get a Mississippi State arm in Jackson Fristow, coming from a national championship pedigree, and now a chance here, playoff scenario. The Renegades, they dropped game 1 against Jersey Shore. Chance here to pick up game 1 and a victory and be in the driver's seat here in this series.
I mean, it's always so key to win game 1 on your home turf, especially considering that the trip down to Greenville is going to be a long one, and so you never know. You don't want to leave things up to chance and say that you got to go then on the road and beat the Drive in their home field 2 straight games. That's quite a hole to dig out of if you don't win game 1. Obviously Greenville wants to try to take this, and then they just have to win 1 out of 2 on their home field to win a championship. So this game is just so important to set the tone in the series. And with Fristow making his high A debut, a really big arm, really exciting type of player, but not a guy with a lot of innings this year. He was a draftee last year, didn't pitch after the draft, started in the FCL this year, so not a lot of mileage this year. And going up against Perales, who's only had a handful of games with Greenville this year as well. So some younger pitchers to the South Atlantic League, but it should make for a really excellent matchup here in game 1. And I think also the bullpens for both teams can be big X factors today as well, because Fristow last pitch last Sunday. He went 4 innings in his regular season finale with the Tampa Tarpons. Renegades have some fresh arms out in the bullpen, some new guys we haven't seen. Baron Stewart, who's been a starter, is out in the bullpen. Same for Leonardo Pastana. So there are some extra guys out there that can give you some different looks. And just interested to see, especially with the off day tomorrow, how this one ends up getting managed.
And the Renegades bullpen has been excellent this year, and so far here in the postseason, just giving the 1 earned run in 8 2/3 innings. So that last series against Jersey Shore. And mention the numbers on Perales, 0-3 with a 4.95 ERA here at the high level. He started 8 games with Greenville, and the regular season. Just 20 years of age as well. So really good pitching matchup here tonight. Let's take a look at the lineups for both sides just quickly. Flash into the Greenville Drive, and you made a good point earlier about, these two teams played back in April, so we don't know what we'll be expecting.
Yeah, there are some guys. Edinson Paulino leading off is a really good spark plug for them. He was there in April. Same for Tyler Miller, their third baseman, batting fifth today. Gilberto Jimenez in the 8th spot has been with Greenville for the last 2 years, so the Renegades saw him a couple of series last year and then in April. And Nick Decker, Jersey boy down in the number 9 spot, has been with Greenville as well. So there's some guys who are holdovers from early on in the season, much like the Renegades have some guys who are holdovers, but also a lot of new names in that Greenville lineup today as well.
Take a look at the Renegades lineup now. There wasn't too much lineup tinkering, and why not? When you win back-to-back ball games on your home turf, there's a lineup card for Sergio Santos and the Hudson Valley Renegades.
Yeah, it seems to be the lineup that is going to be what the Renegades have been rolling with in these elimination games, and obviously that's not today, but pretty solid job in the last 2 games with this 9 and just rolling it right back out there for today. The only thing that's different from Friday, different from Thursday, that was different for Friday and today, is Flores and Hall flipped in the lineup.
Yep.
They were 6-7, now flipped around. That's the only change for the last couple of games for the Renegades. So it's been working, so why not just keep rolling it out?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And for those Renegades fans watching at home, maybe on Facebook or YouTube, and thinking about coming out of the ballpark today, there is free parking. So that's a big plus as well. So come on down, 2:05 first pitch to the Renegades and the Greenville Drive. And again, this is officially the last chance now.
Yeah. What are you going to do, watch
game.
Zach Wilson and the Jets? Come on. What are you doing? It's the Jets.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, he got a surgery. He's on the couch.
He's on ayahuasca or whatever he's doing to recover.
We watched the Monday night game. And, we weren't
just
watching
tape
Zach.
that and watch this live.
Exactly. That's what you got to do. You heard it from Joe Basile. Want to see you down here at the ballpark again, 2:05 first pitch. Jackson Fristow against Luis Perales is the pitching matchup. Red Sox Yankees, Game 1 of the South Atlantic League Championship Series. Hope to see you there. If not, we'll see you on the broadcast. He's Joe Basile. I'm Thomas Sinzrell. This has been the BP Show.
Bye.
Big practice show with Joe and Thomas.